I believe that anyone can make a wreath. The problem is we don't get to make it very often. So in this video, I am going to share with you step by step how to make a wreath right from your backyard. I will share with you how to cut evergreens from your garden without ruining the landscape. I will share with you how to create a wreath that will represent your garden, that will look organic, just like this. Okay? Before we cut greens from our garden, we need to know first how much should we cut, right? And that depends on the size of the wreath that you are going to make. Today I am going to make a little one like this because again, I don't want to cut too much green from my garden, and because I want to show you too that you don't need a lot of greens to make Christmas wreath, I am not going to use this big metal one because this is going to require a lot of cuttings. I made this ring in spring. I just cut a bendable stem of a willow or from any shrub from my garden. Then I twist it, I bend it and make it a ring like this. Behind me is forsythia stems. I could have cut this stem in late spring or early summer when the stems are still tender and bendable. And then I make the ring out of it. If I cut them now, and if I make the ring now, this thing can break because this time of the year the stem is not bendable anymore. I mean, not as flexible as in spring, but you can still bend it. Just make sure that you massage the stem first like this so they don't break. If you bend it too hard, it will break like this. See, that's why we should cut the stem when they are new growth, when they are flexible and more bendable. And then put this in, put this in. Cut one more stem. I am using the second stem to reinforce the spot right here. Then twist it. Then massage it a little more. Adding one more stem right here. Now wrap the wire around the stem very tight, like this. And I'm gonna cut this off. And massage it. Ta-da! However, today I am going to use this one instead that I made in spring because it's smaller and I don't want to take a lot of cuttings from my garden. This is variegated boxwood. I am picking this green because I would like my wreath to be a little bit more on a cheerful side. So I want to add, different kind of color. I am going to cut the stem that stick out like this. And when you cut it like this, no one can ever tell that you cut a few stems from the boxwood. And this stem is hitting the blue spruce here, so I'm gonna take it all out. Doing this, we also prune our shrub and make our garden look beautiful. This is balsam fir. I cut at the lowest branch of the tree, so nobody can notice that I cut a few stems here. And this is eastern red cedar. I cut it in the back of my garden, and nobody can ever see this cedar hidden in the back of my garden anyway. So I cut this and I can use for my wreath. This is English lavender, and I am going to cut the stem that is flopping right here. Another stem here. Maybe this one too. Now we have some green, some yellow, and some blue or gray color of the foliage. And the last color that I'm going to add to my wreath is red, and I am going to get that from berries from my backyard. I have about 2 or 3 holly trees in my garden that produce berries, and I am going to cut this one in the back, of course, because I don't want to, take away the holly in the front of my garden. And this branch rubbing against the Japanese holly. So I'm gonna cut it off, then take the berries. And because I want the berry to show off more, I'm going to cut this stem out. Cut this stem out. Also remove the top leaves. This is winter berry shrubs that I planted about 2 years ago. And this winter is the first time that they produce berries. And to be honest with you, I don't have the heart to cut these berries from my garden just yet. So I cut this Nandina instead from the back of my garden. And they also have these red beautiful berries. And I'm gonna use this for my wreath instead of this winter berry. I know that not every one of us is going to have red berries in our backyard. If you don't have red berries, no worries. You can get the artificial ones from your local craft store. And if you cannot find them, no worries. You can always make beautiful wreaths without red berries. Okay? And besides red berries, we can add some gimmick to our Christmas wreath, and it's going to make our wreath more interesting. And the gimmick can be something like the pie cone. This is a little, some kind of Japanese pie, and they are just so cute and they are perfect for my wreath. Shoop. Maybe this one. And because I am a gardener, I would like my wreath to represent my garden. I like my wreath to be more a natural side, look a little wild, look a little organic. So I am going to add some garden accent to my wreath. This is wild aster that I have in my garden. So I'm gonna cut a few stems of them. You can use any dry flowers or seed pot from your garden. And worst case scenario, if these dry flowers or seed pot doesn't look good in your wreath, you just pull them out from your wreath later. But before we doing that, why don't we give it a try first? Now I have all the ingredients that I need to make my wreath. And before we start, I would like to make an important note that you don't need every single thing that I have here. You can simply cut whatever that you already have in your garden. You don't need all these colors. You don't need all these varieties. Just, cut something and then try, and then, just have fun. And this is the most wonderful time of the year. You should do whatever that brings you joy, not bring you stress, okay? The first step, I'm going to tie this wire to the wreath. You can get this wire from Amazon or any craft store. Secure it like this. And make a few rounds of wrapping on the ring. Today I am going to show you how to make wreath that doesn't require a lot of greens. So the wreath is going to be skinnier. You want to divide the stem into little branches, and when the wreaths are skinnier, we don't need to create a big bunch of green. But if you have a lot of greens and you like your wreath to be big, you can make bigger bunch like this. Bigger bunch is going to create thicker wreath for you. And this fur, I am going to split it up like this. And on the tip of the bunch, you don't want to show the cut. You want to show the tip of the green like that, and then hide the cut in the back. Okay, it will look more natural. Gonna add a little bit of berries and a little bit of seed pod. And this stem kind of block everything, so I'm gonna move it to the back instead. And finally, we get to place our first bunch on the ring, on top of the wire, okay, like that. Then put the wire on the top, lift the ring up a little bit, then pull it as hard as possible, okay. Then one more time, pull it as hard as possible. If you don't pull the wire hard enough, the bunch is not going to attach to the ring like that, and the wire will not secure to the ring. My second bunch look a little bit different than my first bunch because I don't want my wreath to look too uniform. I use the lavender here and also the holly berry, and you can see here I hide the holly stem, this one, behind the lavender. So this way it looks like, organic and natural. And I'm gonna place this on top of the first bunch. I want the middle of the second bunch to be on top of the wire of the first bunch, like that. And I want the bunch to point outward from the ring, not inward like this, okay? Now place it like that. And let me cut this off. Also make sure that the size of the first bunch and the second bunch is the same, okay? Just place on top of them. If they look the same, that's good. Now place it. And I'm gonna wire it together with the ring, pull it as hard as possible. And this Nandina is pretty tall, right? And we only need to create little bunch. So I'm not going to use the whole stem. I'm gonna split it up like this. Okay, now I have this one stem, two stem, and this one I'm gonna cut it right here. And this time I'm gonna use the cedar as green. By the way, you can see that when we are making smaller wreath, we don't need a lot of greens and branches and cuttings from our garden at all. These are all only that I cut from my garden, and it's plenty enough. Have one little bunch here and one little bunch here. And the third bunch I am going to place it inward the ring like this, not on the outward like that, okay, because we want to hide this spot. So again, the middle of this bunch should be like by the wire. Gonna place it like that. Ta-da! And I think my fourth bunch I am going to start using the pine cones. It's just so cute. Maybe, mix it with lavender. Like this. Maybe the blackberries. Privet. Although I am going to make every bunch different, but it's nice to have one kind of green that it's going to be in every bunch, because this is going to glue everything together to make the wreath more harmonious. And the fourth bunch is going to be on the outward to hide this part. Gonna leave it on the outward like that. Maybe like this. This is cuter. Oh, that's so cute. That's just so cute. And now I'm gonna make the fifth bunch, and I'm going to paste it inward to hide this part. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but for some reason, wreath make me happy whenever I look at it, whenever I touch it, or now I can smell it and just make me happy. So I'm wondering where's this from? When people start making wreath, and I am going to ask my personal assistant, which is Google.
Wreaths have been used for many purposes throughout history, including as decorations, symbols of victory, and in religious ceremonies. Ancient Greece, wreaths were used as headgear to honor victors in athletic, music, and poetry competitions, and as symbols of military achievement. Harvest wreaths were also made from wheat and other plants, and hung by doors to bring good fortune to crops. Ancient Rome, the Romans adopted the laurel wreath from the Greeks as a symbol of victory, and important political and military leaders wore them. Julius Caesar is one example of a Roman leader who wore a wreath. Ancient pagan cultures, wreaths made from tree branches were used in rituals to celebrate the changing seasons and fertility. Yule, wreaths were used as holiday decorations to symbolize spring and the return of longer days. Christianity, Christians adapted the tradition of candlelit wreaths from Yule and used them in Advent wreaths to prepare for Christmas. The circular shape of the wreaths symbolized eternal life and the love of God. Evergreens. Evergreens are often used in wreaths because they stay fresh and green throughout the year, symbolizing perseverance and the continuation of life. Native American tribes. Some tribes wore wreaths made from sage during ceremonial dances.
I could have gone to a home decoration store and get artificial wreath and then get over with this. I don't have to go through this 2 hours or 3 hours process, being outside, feeling cold, cutting the stem, hurting my fingers, and making a mess in my greenhouse. But, there's benefit of doing this. It really helps reduce stress. You know why? That's because, anything that we do that is repetitive and require concentration, attention to detail, it will help us reduce the stress hormone. This is like science, okay? We try to tell children to play outside, to stop using their phone. But how about us? We kind of do the same. Although we don't, spend a lot of time on our phone, but, we watch a lot of TV, right? We kind of stay inside in the comfort and stop being outside and, stopping doing something like this that takes time. We like to do anything that fast, easy to accomplish. I think, that's kind of takeaway of being on a journey. This is so important to human being, to our health and wellness. And I would encourage everybody to do this. It doesn't really matter that your wreath have to be super beautiful, look like a florist-made wreath, but you will be proud of yourself when you finish this wreath, and that makes you feel good. We are almost there. At this point, if you are tired, okay, just put a big bowl on top of the empty spot on the top, like this. But this bowl is too big. But you know what I mean, right? Like, find something like maybe this, put on the top to hide the empty spot, and then you're done. Okay, but if you have some more green left and would you like to continue, just keep doing it. At the end, it can be challenging to add the bunch in, so you can make the bunch a little thinner, smaller. Then just add it in like that. Then twist it 2 times. Then insert a few stems inside like that. Then twist it. Okay. And then I'm covering this empty spot here with just 2 stems. Just like that. Then kind of twist it. Now this side have empty spot too, so I'm gonna find some more stem to cover it. Now you can kind of, pull the stem out a little bit to make them look fuller, like that. And we are done! Ta-da! It's cute. Is it cute? So the wire that you have left here is going to be the wire that you use for hanging this wreath to your door or your wall. And on the back here, you want to make a knot, tie the wire so it's secure, you know. Make sure that it's like real tight. And I am going to use very skinny ribbons because I want to show my wreath more than the bow. And to be honest with you, I haven't made bow before. This is going to be my first time. My hand is shaking. I hope this come out right. I hope, please. I don't know. And I have the pie cones here that fall off from the stem. So I'm gonna put the wire like underneath the top shell. I don't know how it's called. That, like that, okay. Like that. Then we're gonna have this. Okay. Now cut one of the stem that you have like this. Now marry the wire with the stem. I don't think this stem is hard enough. I'm gonna add one more stem. Okay. Still not hard enough. Just one more. Cut it off like this. Then just insert this to the wreath wherever you feel like it's empty. There we go. Do one more. This time I use stronger stem. See, stronger. This is kind of empty, so I'm gonna insert it in. Yay. And there will be spot that is kind of flat like this. You can always tweak it. Oh, jeez. You can like do this gently, okay? Don't break the stem like me. Maybe pull it out a little bit. Kind of make it more fluffy. There we go. Yeah, I don't like my bow at all. I'm gonna fix it later. And you can also add some ornaments or maybe like dry oranges, maybe cinnamon on your wreath, okay, like this. Just insert it in. Put it. You know, but you know what I mean, right? Like you can decorate it more. But I'm going to leave its nature like this, you know, because I like to be all from my garden. Can you make bowl for me, please? No. Please.
Good.
If you are new to my channel, my name is Crane. I grow all kinds of flowers and plants in my backyard. Then I cut them, then I arrange them, then I make a video content like this to inspire people to bring more beauty, creativity, and positivity into this world. I hope that people get to have a meaningful relationship with each other and also with nature. And if you find that this video is helpful and you would like to support my channel, you can easily just click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment that will send the signal to YouTube to push my videos to more people like you. Alright, thank you so much for doing that, and thank you so much for being here until the end of my video, and I hope that you have the most wonderful time with your family and your loved one and of course get to make a wreath from your garden. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!